ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। सभी का स्वागत है श्री भगवत गीता।
Welcome all of you to this session on Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
और आज हम आरंभ कर रहे हैं द्वितीय
Today we are studying from 41st verse of the second chapter onwards. In the previous session we learned that
कर्म योग के बारे में वर्णन करेंगे।
now Bhagavan will explain about Karma Yoga. Prior to that, Bhagavan explained Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga. And before explaining, first of all, he explained the importance of Karma Yoga. He said that if somebody makes even a slight progress on this path, then he will be freed from the great danger of this world. Whatever progress one makes, that will never be destroyed. There is no obstacle on this path. There is no destruction of any progress made on this path.
प्रशंसा केवल खाली प्रशंसा नहीं है, वास्तविक गुण
So this was not some empty praise that Bhagavan made for Karma Yoga. This is actually the quality of Karma Yoga that Bhagavan praised. And both meanings can be taken. One is Nishkam Karma Yoga, other is Bhakti Yoga. So there are many kathas of people who were on this path of Nishkam Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, and they could not attain perfection in that life. Then in the next life, they continued from where they left in the previous life. There are many such kathas in Shastra. It's also seen that many people they have interest on the spiritual path from childhood itself. So what is the reason? The reason is that they have done something in the previous life and they are continuing from where they left in the previous life. So in this verse, Bhagavan says that the buddhi on this path, the intelligence on this path is one, because he had explained about buddhi itself. Whatever action we perform after deciding with our buddhi, with our intellect. Earlier also he had said that, so here he is explaining in a different way. Translation: O descendant of Kuru, on this path, the intellect is resolutely determined, being one-pointed in its intent, whereas the intellectual determinations of the irresolute are innumerable and many-branched. So buddhi is of two types. One is for sense gratification and other is for liberation. So dharma, artha, kam also is one division and moksha is another division. In this way also purusharthas can be divided. So one is towards renunciation and one is towards sense gratification, sense enjoyment. So both are being described in different ways. So the buddhi, which is towards moksha, which is aimed towards liberation, or bhakti, that is one only. In that there is only one determination, because it is one vastu only, that is either to attain liberation or to attain Bhagavan. That is one only. There are no different branches in that. So that is why there is a determination in the intellect of such spiritual aspirants. So vyavasaya means business also, but in Sanskrit vyavasaya it does not mean that. In Sanskrit vyavasaya means determination. Actually, even if one has to do business, one has to be determined. He has to have determination for that business. So here Bhagavan is telling the buddhi is nishchayatma, that is determined. It is one. It does not keep wavering here and there. It remains focused on one point only. And that point is to attain moksha, liberation, or Bhagavan. Moksha is in Gyan Marga and in Bhakti Marga it is Bhagavat, to attain Bhagavan. But one whose intelligence is aimed towards sense enjoyment, that person's buddhi is of many types, because sense enjoyment is of various types. Somebody wants post, position, wealth, prestige. And if one wants a higher position, in that also there are so many branches. It is not just one. So that's why Bhagavan is telling that buddhi is of many types, and again it has various subdivisions. If he has wealth, how much he wants, how he will get, what type of business he will do, whether he will be working on employment or he will steal, in what way will he earn money. Many people earn wealth in different ways, not just in one way. So it has many branches.
और बुद्धयो अव्यवसायी नाम, तो अव्यवसायी
So avyavasai means that his buddhi is not
बदल
fixed.
जाती है,
The intellect is not
एक
fixed
कुछ
up. It
किया
keeps changing.
उसमें उनको सफलता प्राप्त नहीं की तो फिर
To
छोड़
do
के
one
दूसरे में
thing,
चले गए।
and if you do not attain
दूसरे
success in
फील्ड में
that,
चले
again
गए,
leave that,
तो
again enter
सारा दिन
another
वही
field,
यही
keep
करना
changing
है,
the
ये करना
business.
है, वो करना है। तो इस प्रकार से
So in this way,
उनकी बुद्धि का निश्चय नहीं रहता।
their intellect
किसी
is
और
not
से
fixed
शादी
up.
करेंगे
It
पहले,
is not determined.
किसी के प्रति प्यार हो
You
जाता है,
get
उसी के
married
साथ
to
में
one person because you fall in love with that
फिर कुछ
person,
समय बाद उनका मन बदल जाता है कि
and then
नहीं,
again mind
इससे
changes,
करता तो अच्छा रहता,
and
तो
mind
छोड़ के
keeps
दूसरी
thinking
शादी
that
कर लेते।
better I would have married the other
तो इसको
person.
बोलते हैं
So then they
अव्यवसायी,
get divorced and again get married to
अनिश्चित।
somebody else. So this is
क्यों?
intellect which is wavering,
हमारे
not fixed up.
इंद्रिय जो
Why?
है, मन जो है, वो
Because
बदलता
our
रहता है,
senses, our mind
आकर्षण भी
keeps
बदलता रहता है,
fluctuating, and the
जब भी
subject
कहीं
matter also
आपको
keeps changing.
आकर्षित कर रहा है,
The
आपको
sense
आकर्षित कर रहा
objects
है,
also keep changing.
कुछ समय
The
बाद
objects with which we are
वो
attracted
जाएगा,
now,
कहीं और
then
आकर्षित
that
हो जाएगा,
attraction will decline, and then we get attracted to something
फिर
else.
आपका मन बदल जाएगा,
So that is
दृष्टि बदल
why then
जाएगी।
mind will also change
तो जब
and
बुद्धि
determination will also
चलती हुई
change.
है,
So when the intellect is going behind the
स्थिर नहीं
mind,
रहेगी,
then the intellect cannot
मन
remain
तो
fixed up
अनिश्चित रहता है,
because mind is not
मन
fixed
जो
up.
है वो चंचल रहता है, चंचल
Mind
मन है कृष्ण।
mind is chanchala. It
और
keeps
जब मन
wavering.
चंचल
It
रहेगा और
is of
बुद्धि
flickering
मन
nature.
के पीछे चलेगी तो बुद्धि भी बदलती रहेगी,
And if
बुद्धि
the
से
intellect follows this type of mind, then intellect will also will not have
निर्णय नहीं
determination.
लेते।
And whatever decision we
इसलिए
take, it is by
ये
our
दोनों में अंतर है।
intellect.
पहला वाला जो है
So
वो
that is why it is the
मन
difference
के पीछे
between both
उसका मन
types
चलता
of
है,
intellect.
यानी
In
उसका
one
मन
case,
उसकी बुद्धि के नियंत्रण में रहता है,
the
और
mind is under the
दूसरे
control
केस
of
में
the
मन
intelligence.
के नियंत्रण
And
में
in
बुद्धि
the
रहती
other
है
case,
और मन के पीछे
the
बुद्धि चलती है।
intelligence is under the
तो वो
control of
ऐसे
the
ही है,
mind.
जैसे पहले भी हमने उदाहरण दिया कार का,
So like I have given the example of car or
कार में
chariot earlier
इंद्रियां
also.
हैं,
In on the chariot,
बागडोर जो
the
है,
horses are the
गाड़ी के जो
senses and the
पहिए जो है वो इंद्रियां हैं,
uh,
और
reins
स्टीयरिंग
are the
मन
senses.
है,
Or in the car, you
और
can say
चलाने
the
वाला
tires
जो
are
है
the senses,
सारथी ड्राइवर है।
and the
तो ड्राइवर
driver.
के कंट्रोल में स्टीयरिंग रहेगी तो आप
So driver
आसानी
should
से,
control the steering.
और अगर
Then only we
स्टीयरिंग के
can
कंट्रोल में
reach
ड्राइवर
the
नहीं रहेगा तो
destination.
गलत होगी।
But if driver is under the
मान
control
लीजिए
of the
स्टीयरिंग
steering,
के कंट्रोल में आप हैं, यानी कि आपने स्टीयरिंग को हाथ में नहीं पकड़ा हुआ है,
suppose you are under the
तो
control
गाड़ी
of the
कहीं भी
steering,
जाएगी,
means you are not holding the
कहीं
steering,
पर नहीं
then the
रुकेगी।
car can
इसलिए
go
इसका नाम
anywhere.
है अव्यवसायी।
You will not reach your
अगर
destination.
स्टीयरिंग आपके हाथ में है
That is called
तो आप उसको
avyavasai.
कंट्रोल करके आपके उद्देश्य
If
तक
the
पहुंचेंगे,
steering is in your
आसानी से
hand, then you
उस
will
तरफ
control the
चलेंगे,
steering
उद्देश्य एक ही है।
and you will drive to reach
लेकिन
your
अगर
desired
स्टीयरिंग आपके हाथ
destination.
में नहीं है
But if the
और आप
steering is not under your
कहीं भी
control
लेटे
and
हैं,
you are simply
तो
seated,
उसको भगवान कहते
then
हैं
that steering
बहुशाखा
can
यानी
take
कि
you
विशाल।
anywhere.
तो
That
कहीं
is
भी
what
घुमाए,
Bhagavan is telling, Bahushakha
गाड़ी
Yanantascha.
कार में
It
तो
can turn anywhere.
सड़क पर चलेगी तो ज़्यादा इधर उधर नहीं, लेकिन अगर घोड़े हैं, उन्होंने हरी घास इधर देखी इधर चले गए, कहीं और उनको दाना मिला उधर चले गए,
So
तो
it's
इधर
like
उधर
the horses which are
इसलिए
wandering
ऐसे
here
ही
and there.
अगर हमको अपने उद्देश्य की प्राप्ति करनी है, यानी कि हमको अब अपने गंतव्य स्थान पर जाना है,
So it is like if we
तो
have
हमारा
to
जो
reach our
वाहन है वो
desired
हमारे नियंत्रण में
destination,
होना चाहिए,
then the vehicle
उसको नियंत्रण में
should be
रखने
under
वाली
our
जो
control.
बुद्धि है वो उसकी स्टीयरिंग,
And
उसको
the control
नियंत्रण में
mechanism is
रखेगा, तो
by
स्थिति
controlling
सही
the
अवस्था में
steering.
होनी चाहिए। तो
Or if you are on a
हमारा
chariot,
मन,
the
हमारा
reins
मन
should be in your
हमारे
control,
नियंत्रण में होना
the
चाहिए।
control of the driver.
इसलिए भगवान ने पहले
So
ही कहा था
similarly, our
बुद्धि
mind should be
संयत
under our control.
कर्म बंधन प्राश्चित, इस बुद्धि
That's why
संयत
Bhagavan had told earlier
कर्म
also
के बंधन से
that being
मुक्त
equipped with
रहते हैं।
this intelligence,
तो
you
बुद्धि
can
संयुक्त
cross
का
over
मतलब यही
the
है
karma,
कि
the
बुद्धि
bondage
के
of karma.
द्वारा अपनी मन
So
की
being equipped with
इच्छाओं को
intelligence
संचालन करना।
means that you control your mind and senses by your
चाहे
intelligence.
सफलता होगी या असफलता होगी, तरक्की
So in our
होगी या
life,
नहीं
we will
होगी,
be
ये इसी पर
successful
निर्भर करता है।
or we will be
और इस जगत
unsuccessful,
में भी जो लोग
depends
सफल
on
हैं, चाहे
this.
वो अच्छे
Even in the
व्यापारी हों या
material
इंजीनियर
sphere,
हों या
whether
किसी
someone
अच्छे
is a businessman
क्षेत्र में कार्य करते हैं,
or
वहाँ भी
working in any other
बुद्धि
field,
उनकी
if that person has attained success,
शक्तिशाली
it
होती है,
is because he has a very
जैसे
strong intelligence. doesn't work just by mind. And on the spiritual path, obviously, you have to work with your intelligence only. Without intelligence, it is not possible to succeed in this path, because then your mind will control you. The decisions that we take in our life for any activity, those decisions are very important, because decision means it indicates where our life is going to turn. If you want to go somewhere, then which road or which highway you will select will determine where you will reach. Similarly, where our life will take a turn, that depends on our decision. That is why whenever we have to take any decision in our life, we should take decision by deliberating, by contemplating seriously. And we should also take help of people who are more qualified, experienced, and wise than us. Because life progresses by decisions. We may have a lot of wealth and facilities, but if we take the wrong decisions, then we will remain miserable. If we do not have much facilities in life, but if we take the right decisions, then we can live peacefully. So our success and failure depends on decision making, and decisions have to be taken by intelligence. So regarding that only, Bhagavan is talking here, and he's emphasizing a lot on intellect, on buddhi. So a person, first of all, in his life should sit and decide what he wants to attain, what is the goal, what is the aim, what is the purpose. That should be clear. And today, this is the biggest problem, that mostly people do not know what is the purpose of life. What do they want to attain in their life? They do not have clarity regarding this. Then they get impressed or influenced by others. You just hear somebody's lecture, get impressed, or you hear some other politician, get impressed, watch some video, get impressed by that, or watch some movie and then got influenced. So in this way, we keep getting influenced by all these influencers, and we keep wandering here and there. So the intellect is not fixed up. It keeps roaming here and there. So the buddhi intellect has to be fixed up. That is very important. And for that, we have to decide what do we want in life. Ultimately, what we want is peace. And that peace is only possible by fixed up intellect, one pointed intellect. Later, Bhagavan will tell that if our intellect is not in peace, then how can we be happy? So, when our mind is flickering, then our intelligence is not in peace. So, that's why Bhagavan is telling here that buddhi is one, it has one goal, it has one destination. When we become attached to material objects, then our intelligence gets divided into many branches. So this is what we have to contemplate. Later in the 12th, or no, in the 9th chapter, Bhagavan will also say that one who has decided to attain me, his buddhi has become fixed up. Even if is or not of good character, still he should be considered a sadhu. Why? Because samyak vyavasit, because that person has taken the right decision. His determination is correct. So Bhagavan is here focusing on the determination. So if such a person makes a mistake also, then that person will rectify his mistake because he has taken the right decision. Like for example, you have decided to go to Delhi from Vrindavan, and on the way, let's say you choose a wrong highway or a wrong road. But and after some time, you will understand I have taken the wrong route. So if your decision is determination is correct, then you will change that route and reach your destination. But if your decision only is not correct, then how will you reach there? So that's why here Bhagavan is emphasizing the importance of decision, being determined. And this determination is only possible when your determination is also correct. Basically, what Bhagavan wants to say that on the path of sense enjoyment, determination is not possible. Determination is only possible on the spiritual path. So indirectly, Bhagavan is telling that either Nishkam Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, you should select one and follow that. Because then only your determination will be correct and then you will be peaceful. Without that, your intelligence will keep wavering. So in this verse, Bhagavan explained that spiritual intelligence is one pointed and the intelligence of sense enjoyment that Bhagavan will explain in the upcoming verses.
आगे के 3 श्लोक बोल रहे हैं कि यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्त्यविपश्चितः वेदवादरथा पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपरा जन्मकर्मफलप्रदां क्रियाविशेषबहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति। हे अर्जुन, जो अविवेकी
Translation: O Arjun, the unwise who are attached to the evanescent goals described in the Vedas, who claim that the Vedas are concerned with nothing other than this, who are full of material desires and who are intent upon the attainment of heaven, utter the flowery words of the Vedas concerning various special rites that are directed towards the acquisition of pleasure and power and which result in rebirth and perpetuation of the cycle of karma.
तो यहाँ पर जो अव्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि है उसके बारे में वर्णन कर।
So here Bhagavan is explaining the avyavasayitmika buddhi, the buddhi aimed at sense enjoyment. That is what he is describing here. Because when Bhagavan narrated the Gita, that time in the land of Bharata, Varnashram dharma was spread everywhere. People used to follow Varnashram dharma and Vedas were followed, they were respected. Vedas were regarded as the source of all knowledge. So in Ved also, both types of determinations are explained. If you see the Vedas, their topics can be divided into two. One is Karma Kanda and other is Jnana Kanda. One part of the Ved, which is towards sense enjoyment, and the other is towards liberation. Like I explained in the beginning of this course, that every Ved has four parts: Samhita, Brahman, Aranyak, and Upanishad. So the first three, Samhita, Brahman, and Aranyak, they are aimed towards karma, sense enjoyment, and the Upanishad is Gyan Parayan, that is aimed towards liberation. Like Dharma, Artha, Kama is one division, and Moksha is the other division. Similarly, Ved also has four divisions, and they are in two categories: one towards karma, one towards jnana. Almost 95% of the Ved is towards karma, and remaining around 5% is towards liberation. The reason is that most of the people are attached to sense objects. So Vedas want to bring them slowly towards the Gyan Marg.
परोक्षवादो वेदोयम बालानामनुशासनम कर्म मोक्षाय कर्माणि विधत्ते ही अग्नो यथा। भगवान उद्धव को बताते हैं,
Bhagavan tells to Uddhav ji in Srimad Bhagavatam that Veda is Parokshavad. Parokshavad means that whatever Ved wants to give to us, Ved does not speak about it directly. Ved speaks of it indirectly. What is the reason? The reason is that Ved, although it is the word of God, what Ved wants to give us, we do not want to accept it. And what we want to accept, Ved does not want to give it. what Bhagavan actually wants to give to us, we do not want that. And what we desire, that is what Bhagavan does not desire to give to us. So then what to do? One is that we give up all Shastra. So Bhagavan, who is very merciful, Bhagavan only takes a humble position and he says that, okay, whatever you want, I will give you. But along with that, what I want to give, I will give that also. So that some person may accept it. So the people who are worldly minded, they just want sense enjoyment. They do not want bhakti. So Bhagavan gives them objects of sense enjoyment, but gives in such a way that their life becomes disciplined, it becomes regulated. The sense enjoyment in this world can be done in an indisciplined way or in a regulated way also. So Bhagavan says, okay, you want to enjoy with senses, so do that, but do it in a regulated way. It will benefit you. It will help you. Today in this world, sense enjoyment is available in extreme quantity. Go even in small cities, we have such big malls. Earlier, it was not like that. Earlier, people were not so wealthy, so that's why they did not have so many opportunities of sense enjoyment also. So many malls and markets are there now. And that is also not needed. You just have Amazon.com, you can order whatever you like. So what does it prove? It proves that people have more wealth now. Otherwise, how would these shops and malls and online stores sustain? People are manufacturing so many products because there are consumers for such products, which means that today lot of sense enjoyment is available, but unfortunately people do not know how to utilize these objects of sense enjoyment. That is why Bhagavan says that learn to utilize these sense objects properly. If you do the bhog properly, then you will enter in yoga. But if you misuse this bhog, then you will enter into rog, that is disease. So from bhog, which is sense enjoyment, you can go to yoga also, or you can go to rog, that is disease also. So today mostly people are getting in diseased. Why? Because they do not know how to how much and how to do sense enjoyment. They are doing all kinds of sense enjoyment in a very unregulated way. Nobody is living by principles, by rules and regulations. That is why diseases are spreading so rampantly. Today, even the young people, they are suffering from high blood pressure, heart diseases, stress. All these problems are increasing. Why? Because of unregulated diet, unregulated lifestyle. So when Bhagavan will say later that yuktahara viharasya, there yukta comes from, the word yukta comes from yoga. It means to do everything in a regulated way, balanced way. We are not doing that today. That is why we are suffering from so many problems, so many diseases. And this will keep increasing because people have a very shortcut way of solving these problems. Just take some tablet. So biggest problem is that of food habit. Nowadays people do not want to cook in their home. They order from outside. So now whatever they will take from outside, who knows what it will be. Obviously one thing is sure that it will not be fresh. When you cook in your home, then that food is fresh. In India, mostly whatever people eat, they cook it fresh and then they eat. Not that they cook, keep in refrigerator and just utilize it till 1 week. But I have seen in foreign countries people do like this. But in India, it's not like that. Every day in the morning, fresh food will be cooked. In evening also, fresh cooking will be done again. But when you eat from outside, then there is nothing fresh in that. And you are ordering in the morning, evening, what is mixed in that? How do you know? So this is unregulated
कारण क्या है?
lifestyle,
उसका
unregulated
कारण हम
diet.
बता रहे हैं।
So what is the reason for
कारण
that?
क्या है?
That reason, the root cause of that is being explained here. That is Pushpita Vacham.
भगवान ने प्रयोग किया, याम इमाम पुष्पिताम वाचम
Bhagavan has explained very
प्रवदन्ति
nice word.
अविपश्चित माने मूर्ख लोग,
He says avipaschita. Avipaschita means
जिनकी ये
foolish
वाणी नहीं
people
है,
who are too
ऐसे लोग
many
हैं जो बुद्धि
in
का
this
प्रयोग
world.
नहीं करते।
Who is a fool who doesn't use
तो
his
अविपश्चित लोग
intelligence?
जो है वो कहते हैं कि वेद में तो केवल
The
एक पुष्पिता
avipaschit
वाणी है।
people, the foolish people, they say
जैसे पहले
that
वेद थे,
Vedas just have
तो
these
वेद
flowery
में
words.
बड़े बड़े
So like
यज्ञ
Ved
होता
was there earlier. So in
और
Ved
उसमें
there
कोई
are
पुष्पिता वाणी
descriptions of huge
आगे बढ़ता है,
yajnas,
उसकी बड़ी
and then
प्रशंसा
there
होती है
are
कि
statements
आप
of glorification,
ये स्वर्ग प्राप्त
arthavad,
कीजिए, आप स्वर्ग चले
that
जाएंगे,
you do
आप
this
स्वर्ग
yajna, you will achieve
आप वहाँ
swarga, you will get
रहेंगे।
apsaras, and there
तो
you
इसको
will
बोलते हैं
drink
पुष्पिता
nectar.
वाणी।
So this is called
यानी कि
Pushpita
शब्द
Vani.
क्या
There's
है,
a
वो
flowery
पुष्प की तरह
words.
है, फूल है,
The words are like
लेकिन फल नहीं
flowers.
है।
They have flower, but there is no fruit.
जब पेड़ लगाते हैं तो पेड़ में
When
पहले
you
फूल आता है, उसके बाद
plant
में
a
फल आता
tree,
है।
then
लेकिन
first
ऐसा
flower
पेड़
comes and then
जैसे
fruit.
आम का पेड़ है, उसमें फूल आए केवल फल ना आए, तो उसकी
Suppose
क्या
you plant a
वैल्यू
mango
होगी?
tree and you just get flower but no fruit, then what
तो
is its
वही
value?
पुष्पिता वाणी है।
So that is the flowery
तो
words.
कहते हैं कि ये लोग इस पुष्पिता वाणी की बात करते रहते हैं,
So Bhagavan is telling
और
that
वेद
people
वहाँ
simply keep talking of
अन्य
these
दृष्टि थी।
kind of
तो
statements.
ये जो अविपश्चित लोग हैं,
So
मूर्ख
these
लोग हैं,
foolish
वो
people,
वेदवाद रता है,
they
सारे
are
वाद में लगे हुए हैं, यानी अर्थवाद,
Vedavadarata. They are
वादों में
just engaging in
उसी में लगे
glorification.
रहते हैं। वो कहते हैं बस कर्म ही है, ये यज्ञ
They
करना,
say
फिर
that
स्वर्ग प्राप्त
it is
करना,
just
यहाँ यज्ञ
karma,
करना, फिर स्वर्ग
just do
जाना,
the
फिर
yajna,
स्वर्ग
then
जाना,
enjoy,
यज्ञ करना।
go to
तो कई
swarga.
प्रकार के यज्ञ हैं, पशु काम,
So all these different types
पुत्र
of yajnas are there.
राज्य काम,
Putra Gishti
स्वर्ग।
Yajna, Rajya Kama
लेकिन
Yajna,
उनमें कुछ
yajnas for
ऐसा जो
many things,
हमारी
for obtaining son, for
धारणाएं
obtaining
हैं कि आप
kingdom,
कुछ भी प्राप्त
so
करना
many
है तो उसके
things.
लिए धन
Like
चाहिए,
today,
तो पैसा
the
कमाओ।
concept is that whatever
हर
you
एक
want,
व्यक्ति पैसा
earn
कमाने
wealth.
में लगा हुआ है,
Everyone is
किसी को
engaged
किसी
in
उद्देश्य से
earning wealth.
पैसा कमाना है,
Every person has only
तो वही
one
कर रहे हैं।
goal, to earn
पूरी
money,
दुनिया एक बाजार बन
from
गई है,
child
हर
to
एक
old
व्यक्ति
age,
देश में
old
खड़ा
person.
हो, अपने को
The whole
दिखावे
world
के
has
लिए
become a market. Everyone is
सब लोग
trying to sell
प्रोफाइल बना
himself.
के
Everyone makes his
इंस्टाग्राम,
profile,
ये वो, क्यों?
Instagram, and all kinds of things. Why?
अपने को दिखावे के लिए कि
We are
मैं बड़ा
trying
हूँ,
to
बड़ा
sell
हूँ,
ourselves. We are
मेरे को कुछ पैसा
showing
चाहिए,
ourselves
यही
off.
अल्टीमेटली
See
उद्देश्य
how
यही
great
है।
I am. So ultimately, this is the
पहले
objective.
हमारे भारत में धारणा ये थी कि आपको कुछ भी
So
प्राप्त
earlier,
करना है तो आप यज्ञ
the
कीजिए,
concept in
इसलिए
India
यज्ञ
was that whatever you want,
च
for
प्रजापति
that you should perform a
यज्ञस्य
yajna.
वो इष्ट कामधुक। भगवान कहेंगे कि ये यज्ञ जो है ये
One will say
कामधुक है,
that
ये आपकी
yajna
कामनाओं को
is kamadhuk.
पूर्ति
It
करने वाला है।
fulfills our desires.
तो ये हमारे वेद की विधि थी, जो
So this was the Veda
हमारी
Vidhi.
संस्कृति
It
को
was
जानने
the
वाले लोग
injunction in
समझते थे
Veda.
कि वेद में जो
Those who
विधि
had
बताई गई है
faith
उससे हमारी
in the Vedic
पूर्ति
culture,
होगी, और
they
उसके लिए वो यज्ञ करते थे या जो
they
भी नियम
said
बताए
that
उसका पालन
in
करते
order
थे।
to fulfill our desire, we
इसलिए
should
उनकी
perform the
परंपराओं
Vedic
को
yajna. And then
इसको
they
पुष्पिता वाणी
also
इसलिए
used
कहते हैं कि
to
उसका अंत में
get that
परिणाम
desire
कुछ नहीं
fulfilled
होता।
actually. Now Pushpita Vacham
सब
means
यज्ञ
that
में
there is no result. It's just statement of
लेकिन उनकी
glorification.
रुचि इसी में
So you
थी कि
remain there
भोग
only.
परायण बुद्धि,
But this
ये
was their
व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि जो बताई भगवान ने उसकी तरफ से।
interest.
और जैसे पहले वेद था,
So like earlier there was Ved.
वेद आज आज का वेद, पुराने जमाने का वेद आज का वेदियो हो गया।
So today it is video. What was earlier Ved, it is like
तो
today it is like a
उसमें भी
video.
पुष्पिता वाणी है उसमें,
So in video also
यानी
there are a lot of
बताया गया
flowery
कि
statements,
विज्ञापन जो
all
होते
types
हैं
of
वो पुष्पिता
advertisements
वाणी है।
which we see. They are
कोई
Pushpita Vani,
एडवर्टाइजमेंट आएगी,
statements
आती
of
गई आती रहती है,
just flowery
और कोई
statements.
आप कंप्यूटर पे अपनी ईमेल पे जाओ तो वहाँ भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट की दो चार लाइन ऊपर रहती है, आती
So if
रहती है।
even if you open email, there will be
तो
some two
ये
statements on the
पुष्पिता
top which
वाणी
will
है,
be of advertisement.
उसको आप
This
खोलिए तो
is
उसमें पूरा
Pushpita Vani,
एनालिसिस
flowery
बताया होगा
statement.
कि
So
आपको
if you
क्यों ये
open
चीज़
that
खरीदनी
very
चाहिए,
nicely, it will be
या क्यों
explained
आपको ये
why we
वीडियो
should
देखनी
purchase
चाहिए,
this, why
ये
you should
खरीदनी
watch
चाहिए।
this video, watch till the end,
अरे इसको बंद मत करना।
don't stop this.
तो कोई तो ये भी करता, अरे अपनी उंगली वहां क्यों ले जा रहे आप।
So people also tell you, why are you
कोई
suddenly
उसका
swiping till the end? They want that you should
नहीं
hear
नहीं
their
समझ
flowery
सकता है।
statements
तो मेरे
because they have
उससे
spent their money for these advertisements.
उससे फिर प्रभावित होके हम भी
So
वीडियो
then
डालने
we get
लग जाते हैं।
influenced by that,
हम भी
and then we
वीडियो
also become
वाला
like
हो जाते हैं।
video vadarata.
इसी की बात करते हैं ना, फिर दूसरों को भेजेंगे
We
वही
keep
चीज
talking of
सीख
those videos, we send those videos
सोशल
to
मीडिया पे
others.
कुछ ना कुछ
So
भेजते
all
ही
this
रहते
keeps
हैं।
going on. Somebody
देखो
keeps sending something or the other.
तो उससे फिर आपकी बुद्धि क्या है हाँ यार
So
ये
then
करना
what
चाहिए।
happens? Then your
आप भूल
intelligence
जाएंगे कि
gets
आपको कोई
influenced.
रोक
You
टोक
think, start
नहीं
thinking that, yeah,
करेगी।
this is right.
ये क्या घृत कुमारी का जूस पीना चाहिए। इससे
Somebody says that
शरीर
every
में
day
जाएगी।
after
कोई
waking up,
कहेगा
you
नहीं
should
शुगर
drink
फ्री
this particular type of juice, or you
दूसरा
should
कहेगा
consume this
पता है
neem
रात
leaf,
को जो है
or somebody will
सौंफ
say
गर्म
that
पानी में डाल के भिगो दो,
at the
सुबह
night
उठ के
before going to
पियो। और
sleep,
कोई कहेगा
you should
ये
make some kind of medication, and in the
ये
morning
सब
you
चीजें
should
बढ़िया
drink
नहीं
that.
है। ये तो मैं अच्छे उदाहरण
All
बताया।
these are good examples. These are actually good. I am giving the
हमारी संस्कृति के
good
उदाहरण हैं
examples
जो
which are from our
इसी तरह
Vedic
से
culture.
अनेक
These are from
चीजें
Ayurveda.
होती है। कोई
But like
कहेगा
this,
आपको
so
विटामिन
many
डी
things are
चाहिए,
going on. Somebody
कोई कहेगा
keeps
एप्पल साइडर
talking of
पियो,
this or that. Somebody will say drink apple cider
कोई कुछ और बताएगा,
or something else.
फिर दूसरा वाला उसका उल्टा बताएगा।
Then somebody will speak the opposite thing, that no,
तो
it's not like
अभी तो
this. Don't do
मैं बता
this.
रहा था कि खाना खाने
So
के
one
बाद
person
ध्यान
was
नहीं देना
saying
चाहिए
that
दाहिने
after
पर। दूसरा वाला कह रहा था नहीं
having
उल्टी नहीं
food, you
करनी
should
चाहिए,
lie down on the left
आगे आगे
side.
चलना
The
चाहिए।
other person
तीसरा वाला
says
सीधा
that
चलना
no,
चाहिए,
you should
दोनों
actually
उल्टा
walk.
नहीं चाहिए।
The third person says that no, walking is not at all
तो
recommended after
अब
having
सब
food.
का बुद्धि इससे हो जाएगी आपकी कि आप क्या करें।
So then your intelligence will get divided. You will
पुष्पिता
get
वाणी में
confused. What should I do? So this is
तो
Pushpita
हमारे वेद
Vani,
में ऐसे
flowery words.
बहुत वाणियां हैं
So in
जिसमें
Vedas, there are
इसी
many
के
such
बारे में
statements
भगवान
of
कह रहे हैं। पुराने
glorification,
जमाने में
and
लोग
Bhagavan is
बड़े
speaking regarding that.
अनुयायी थे,
And in the
लेकिन
earlier
इसमें और
times,
उसमें
people
आज
were
अंतर क्या है कि ये जो
very much
वेद की
strict
वाणियां
about
हैं
following
अगर इससे आपको
the Vedic words.
फल प्राप्त करना है तो उसके लिए आपको नियम का पालन करना पड़ेगा।
Now, actually, in order to
अलग अलग
follow the
समय
words of the Vedas, one has
नियम
to become
पालन
very
करना पड़ेगा।
regulated and
और
disciplined.
नियमित जीवन बिताने से आपका आपकी वो एक
When
आदत
one
एक
will
स्वभाव
follow a
बन जाएगा
regulated
नियमित
lifestyle,
जीवन बिताने का,
then that will
और
become a
आपको
habit,
उसमें आनंद आने लगेगा।
and then you will
और
derive
उसमें
pleasure in
जाएंगे
that.
कि वास्तव में
And then later you will
सही सही
realize
है।
that in Veda there is the other
मोक्ष
part
की बात
also,
करता है
which talks of
भगवान।
liberation, which talks of
वेद के
moksha.
माध्यम से आपको विषय
So
ज्ञान
Bhagavan,
देकर फिर आपको विषय
by the
संबंधी
medium of Veda, by giving
जो
the sense
कर्म
objects,
था
he actually
कर्मानुरूप
wants to
ढलते ही
remove
आपको
you
ज्ञान
from
देगा।
that.
श्लोक में भगवान कहते हैं कि
Bhagavan
मैं
says
वास्तव में कर्म का
that
विधान,
I have
कर्म का
given
मतलब है सकाम कर्म से,
I have given this law of karma.
सकाम
So
कर्म का
here he's
जो
talking about
परम
Sakam
उद्देश्य
karma.
है
In Veda, I have
वो
only
ये है
talked of
ताकि
Sakam
सकाम
karma,
कर्म से आपकी मुक्ति
and
हो
the
जाए।
purpose is that you get
सकाम कर्म से
liberated from
छुड़ाने से
Sakam
नहीं
karma.
आपको,
He
लेकिन उसको
actually
छुड़ाने
wants
से
to free
पहले
you
उसका
from
विधान
Sakam
कि इसको
karma.
करो,
But before
इससे
liberating
आपको
you from that,
बड़ी
he is actually
प्रभावित
recommending you
होगी
to do that.
कर्म
There is
कर्म
lot of
करने से,
glorification of this Sakam karma in the way that
अमर हो जाएंगे।
if you drink the
तो ये जो मैं बता रहा था कि कर्म
Somaras, you will
करने के
become
विभिन्न तरीके
immortal.
हैं,
So
हम
what I was telling that
कहते
he
ठीक है
wants
ये
to
सब
give us
करिए, लेकिन
immortality,
उनका
but we
उद्देश्य ये
want
है कि
sense
आप
enjoyment.
उसमें से मुक्त हो जाएं। तो उसके
But
लिए
why is he giving us sense enjoyment? Because he actually
बच्चे
wants
को
us
भी
to be
बच्चा
freed
होता
from
है
that. So the
उसको
example is
जैसे
like
मेडिसिन खाना
if a
पड़ता है
child is sick, and if you want to
ठीक है,
administer him a medicine,
तो फिर
but the
उसको कड़वी
medicine
दवाई को आप लड्डू
is not
खिलाते हैं
sweet,
उसको, तो मीठा
then
उसको पसंद नहीं
you
है।
mix some sweet in
आपका
that,
उद्देश्य उसको मीठा खिलाना नहीं है, आपका उद्देश्य
but
उसको
you are
कड़वी दवा
mixing the
खिलाना है।
sweet
कड़वी दवा वो
only
खिलाना चाहता
because
है,
you know that he will take this medicine only if he is given
आप क्या
sweet.
करें, वो तो अपनी
But
जगह
your
ठीक है, लेकिन हम
objective is not
अपनाते हैं
actually to give him
बीच का
sweet.
रास्ता अपनाते हैं कि
So
नहीं
that's why
इसको
you
ये
take a humble
खाया
stand and
खिलाएगा।
follow the middle path, that I give you the medicine
कैप्सूल बना
also.
दिए, पहले कैप्सूल नहीं थे तो यही कैप्सूल था पहले,
Along with that, I give
फिर
some
बीच में
sweet
मिठाई
also.
के बीच में कड़वी दवा।
So nowadays we
तो
have
उसका
capsules, we
उद्देश्य क्या
don't
है,
feel the bitter
मीठा
taste.
खिलाना
But
नहीं है,
earlier
उसका रोग दूर
there used
करना
to
है।
be mostly syrups which were bitter in taste.
तो यही तरीका जो है वो वेद ने अपनाया,
So Veda has also followed this
अनुशासित करने के लिए।
method. to regulate the lifestyle of human beings.
मनुष्य बच्चे की तरह ही हैं,
Because human
तो उनको
beings are like
कैसे
children
मार्गदर्शन
only.
किया जाए
So
उनकी
how
भलाई
to
के लिए।
regulate them for
बच्चे तो
their
गुस्से
benefit?
में रहना नहीं पसंद करते हैं,
Like a child does
तो
not want to
देखिए
live
चाहे
follow
कुछ
any
भी करेंगे,
discipline.
जो भी कुछ
Whole
करेंगे,
night he wants to keep
लेकिन अगर
chatting or
उनके
watching
संरक्षण किया
videos.
जाए तो उनको कुछ
But how to
मार्गदर्शन किया
regulate
जाए,
him
उसमें
or
जरूर
her?
समझाओगे,
Then
आपको ये मिलेगा।
you give
तो
him
आपका
some,
उद्देश्य
tell him of
भगवान
some
को खुश
benefit
करना
that
नहीं
if
है।
you sleep early, if you wake up
असली
early, I will
समाधान
give you
तभी
this
समझ आएगा किसी
gift.
का नियमित जीने से अच्छा स्वास्थ्य
So
रहता है।
then he becomes regulated, and as he keeps following that
यही
lifestyle, when he
एक
grows up, he
एक
realizes that it is good
और
for
भी
my
जगह
health
पर है
to
कि
follow a regulated
वेदवता
lifestyle.
वाचम
So similarly, here also Bhagavan is
सर्व
explaining.
वेदवाद रता पार्थ नान्यदस्ति थी वादिन। तो जो वेदवादी हैं,
So those who are
ये
the Vedavadis, they
जिनको
glorify
अभी
this
समझ
a
में नहीं
lot.
आया इसके बारे में,
Those who have
क्या
not
होता है उनको
understood
समझ
the
आएगा
real purpose
भगवान
of the
को
Vedas. Because if they would have
आगे
understood the
क्या
real
बोलते हैं,
purpose, they would have left
तदा
this.
गंता
Bhagavan will
सर्ववेद
explain that later.
श्रुतस्य श्रुतस्य च, कि फिर वो निर्वेद हो जाते हैं,
Then they become
वेद को
Nirved.
छोड़ के निर्वेद।
Leaving
वेद
Ved,
वादी
they
की
become
दृष्टि तो यही
Nirved.
रहती है
Meaning that now they do not have desire for this sakam
इसकी
karma.
अपेक्षा नहीं रखते, श्रोतस्य श्रुतस्य
And
च,
they do
जो
not
उन्होंने
expect
सुना
these
है,
material
अभी
benefits.
आगे सुनते
So
रहेंगे,
whatever they have
सुनते
heard
रहेंगे,
till now,
तो उनकी बुद्धि
or
निष्ठिक,
they will hear later also,
एकात्मक, जो व्यवसात्मिक बुद्धि बन जाती है। तो
so
ये
their
है
intelligence
वेद का
becomes one
रहस्य।
pointed. This is the secret of
तो
Ved.
जितना भी ये तंत्र मंत्र ये जो बताया जाता है, इसकी पूजा
All the
करो, ये
tantra
करो,
mantra
वो
which
करो,
are said that do
उसका
this
आपको
puja,
फल
this
ये ये
tantra
मिलेगा,
mantra, if you do this, you will get this or get that.
करो,
On Saturday, you
और
worship
भोग
Shanidev.
लगाओ।
On
तो उसका
Tuesday,
उद्देश्य
make
यही
an
है
offering
कि
to
आप
Hanumanji.
ठीक है, आप अपनी समस्या का समाधान कर
So
लिए,
that is okay, you get your
वास्तव
problem
में
solved.
असली
But
समाधान तब मिलेगा
ultimately,
जब आपकी
the
बुद्धि जो है
solution is
एकात्मक
only
हो जाएगी भगवान
when
में।
you
इसलिए
uh,
गीता में भगवान
become
कहते
fixed
हैं
up
आत्म
on
संयमम
Bhagwan
परित्यज्य
with
मामेकम
one
शरणं
pointed
व्रज।
intelligence.
तो वहां तक ले जाने के
That's
लिए
why at the end Bhagavan says that
अभ्यास
Mamekam
करना होगा।
Sharanam Vraja. So Bhagavan is doing all this
जिसके
hard
अंदर
work to
योग
take the
बना
human being till
उसको
that
बात
point
समझ
of
में नहीं आएगी,
Mamekam Sharanam
समझ
Vraja.
नहीं आएगी, तो
But
यही
the
कहेंगे कि
person whose
इस
intelligence
भोग
cannot
को
grasp
आप
this point,
नियम से उपयोग
for
कीजिए
him
ताकि
Bhagavan
जिसका
gives
मार्ग
sense
कष्ट से
enjoyment,
आपकी बुद्धि
but
ना
he
भटके।
lays a condition that you
ये
have to
उनका
do this
वरदान
with
है।
a regulated lifestyle. So that is his
उसके बाद
mercy
फिर दूसरे
upon
श्लोक
the
में
human
कहते हैं
being.
कामात्मानः
So
स्वर्गपरा
then
जन्म कर्म फल प्रदान क्रिया
in
विशेष
43 he
भोग
is telling,
गतिन प्रति। तो ये लोग जो है ये कामात्मान है,
these are the
यानी इनके अंतरों में
Kamatmans.
काम ही घुसा हुआ है,
Means they are full of
काम ही
material
काम है।
desires.
उसके आगे उनकी बुद्धि
Kama
चलती
means
नहीं है।
sense enjoyment. Their
जब वो
intelligence doesn't
सुखों
function
आनंद के बारे में, फलों
beyond
के बारे
sense
में
enjoyment.
बताओ
There are many people, if you
तुरंत
tell
रुचि
them
आ
anything
जाएगी,
about dharma, about
उसके बाद
Bhagavan,
उनको
they will
भूख ही नहीं
start
होती है।
falling asleep.
लेकिन
They
अगर
do not
दूसरी
have
चीज
any
की बात
interest
करो,
in that. But
खाना
if you
पीना,
talk of sense
कहीं जाना
enjoyment,
है, एंजॉय
food,
करना है, ये खाना ये पीना,
wandering, going here and there,
तो उसमें
enjoying,
बहुत रुचि रहेगी।
then they have lot of
तो
interest in
ऐसे
that.
लोगों को बोलते हैं कामात्मा।
These people are
और
called
स्वर्गपरा,
Kamatmanas.
स्वर्गपरा का
They
मतलब
are
कि
intent upon
उनकी
achieving Swarga.
परायणता, उनकी निष्ठा स्वर्ग
Their
में है।
dedication
तो स्वर्ग
is
कोई
for
साधारण
attaining
शेष भी नहीं
Swarga.
है,
So Swarga is not just
उसको
a
बोलेंगे स्वर्ग।
physical
स्वर्ग का मतलब है
location,
सुख।
a physical place.
यत्र
Swarga
सुखेन
means
समाधि
Sukha,
अनग्रस्त मनः
happiness.
अभिलाषोपनीतम च तत्स्वास्पदास्पदम। तो स्वर्ग का मतलब होता है जिसमें दुख ना हो और सुख हो।
Swarga means that which has happiness,
तो
no suffering.
पहले स्वर्ग को लोग ये सोचते थे कि कहीं
Earlier,
आसमान
people
होगा, वहां
used to
जाएंगे।
think about Swarga, that
आजकल
Swarga
सभी
is
लोग
just
यहाँ
a
पर सोचते हैं पृथ्वी पर
physical
आके हम
place above.
यहाँ
Nowadays, people
यहाँ क्या है, चलो अमेरिका
say
चलते हैं,
that this itself is Swarga, let's go
किसी
to
दूसरे देश में चलते
America,
हैं।
that is like
मनुष्य इसी
heavenly.
को स्वर्ग समझता है ना, भारत
They
में रहना
consider
स्वर्ग
that
है,
as Swarga.
विदेश जाना स्वर्ग समझते हैं।
For Indians, going to some foreign country is
पहले
like
भारत के लोग जो है
Swarga.
कहीं जाना स्वर्ग समझते थे,
Earlier, Indians used
जो
to
है विदेश
desire
जाना स्वर्ग
for
समझते
Swarga,
थे।
which is above somewhere.
अमेरिका चले गए तो स्वर्ग
Now,
पहुंच गए,
for them,
उसके लिए
attaining
वो प्रयास
Swarga
करते हैं। तो
is like
स्वर्ग
going to some foreign country.
कामात्मा, और
So they are
उनका
Swarga
मन
para.
उसी में लगा रहता है कि किस
Their
तरह
mind
जाएं।
is absorbed there
तो
only.
इसलिए वो जब
How can I settle
पढ़ेंगे,
in some foreign
मेहनत
country?
करेंगे,
For that only they plan. I will
स्किल
study
बढ़ाएंगे,
this. I will write some competitive exams.
विदेश चले जाएं, स्वर्ग पहुंच जाएं।
I'll work hard so
तो
that
उसका
I can settle
परिणाम क्या
down in
होता है?
some
जन्म
foreign
कर्म फल
country.
प्रदान। उसका
And
फल
then
क्या
what
है?
is the
स्वर्ग में
result?
पुष्पिता वाचम।
The result? The phala of what was told earlier, the Pushpita Vacham, flowery words, was that according to your karma, you will achieve next birth, and then you keep continuing in this cycle of birth and death in this world.
और इसके लिए आपको बहुत क्रियाएं करनी पड़ेंगी.
For this, you have to perform lot of special kriya, special rites.
और यज्ञ करना कोई
In the olden times, lots of yagyas were performed, and conducting one yagya is also not so easy. You have to uh, aggregate lot of ingredients, and then there are a lot of rules and regulations for yagyas. The purpose of laying down those rules and regulations was that your life becomes disciplined.
खाली क्रिया बहुल नहीं है, क्रिया
And this is not just many kriyas, these are kriya vishesh. Special types of rites have to be performed.
तो आपको ये खाना, ये नहीं खाना, बैंगन मत खाइए.
If you have to do some yajna, then it is told that you cannot eat brinjal, you cannot sleep in the daytime, you cannot speak lie. There were a lot of these rules which were to be followed by people who got diksha into the yajna. Otherwise, you don't get the result. So today, the rules are different. If you consider going to foreign country like a Swarga, then also you have to work very hard. You have to do a lot of things, write this TOEFL exam or this exam, whatever other exams, GRE, etc. are there.
GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, ये सब.
And when I was studying, these exams were there, GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, etc. So you have to clear these exams, and then you have to apply in the foreign universities, pay the fees. Then also you are not sure whether you will clear, your name will be there in the admission list or no.
उसका उद्देश्य वही भोग है, जिसका परिणाम है रोग और ऐश्वर्य.
So purpose of doing all this is sense enjoyment, bhog, and then bhog leads to rog, that is disease.
जिनसे आप इंद्रिय प्रीति प्राप्त कर सकते. जिन वस्तुओं से
Bhoga means obtaining objects of sense enjoyment by which we can give pleasure to our senses. That is bhog. And for getting bhoga, for getting these objects of sense enjoyment, you need money. For that, you need wealth. That is why a human being's mind is into these two things, wealth and sense enjoyment. First, earn money and then fulfill the material desires.
उनका मतलब जैसे उनका स्वरूप, उनका जीवन, उनकी सत्ता.
So their whole life, it's like their whole existence is for wealth and sense enjoyment only.
बुद्धि इसी में लगी रहती है.
Their mind is always into
इसके
this.
बगैर वो जी नहीं सकते.
They can't live without this.
इसके आगे उनकी कुछ भी सोच नहीं होती.
They cannot think beyond this.
अध्यात्म के बारे में, आत्मा, परमात्मा, भगवान, वैकुंठ, भक्ति इत्यादि के बारे में कुछ भी समझाएंगे तो उनके दिमाग में घुसेगा नहीं, समझ में नहीं आएगी. तो
if you try to teach them about Atma, Paramatma, etc., they won't understand. This won't fit in their intelligence. So this is what Bhagavan is explaining here, and it doesn't give a good result because this is all temporary.
टिकाऊ नहीं है,
It's not permanent.
और जब आप भोग करते हैं तो वो भोग भी जो है,
When you engage in sense enjoyment, then
दुख से मिश्रित रहता है.
that sense enjoyment, that bhoga, is always mixed with suffering. Some type of anxiety is always there in that.
ट्राई करके भोग में क्या करते हैं, कुछ पीते हैं.
That is why people mostly get into drinking alcohol,
अफीम, चरस, गांजा खा.
or they start taking drugs.
भोग क्यों करते हैं? क्योंकि ये
Why do they do this type of sense enjoyment? Because it makes you forget your anxieties.
तो वास्तव में ये कोई भोग थोड़े हुआ है, ये तो आप.
So this is not some bhog in reality. This is not actually sense enjoyment. This is simply going more and more deep into ignorance. So Veda does not give this type of bhog. It does not pollute your intelligence. The sense enjoyment of Veda that Veda is giving is different. Today, what sense enjoyment we are doing, it puts us into ignorance. It makes us addicted, makes us diseased, and then we cannot live without those types of sense enjoyment. And then the cycle of birth and death continues, and the next birth that we will get, it is not guaranteed that we will get it will be human birth only. We can get born into some animal species also. So actually, this bhog buddhi, this intellect which is aimed at sense enjoyment, this is what later Bhagavan will speak of as asuri buddhi, demoniac intelligence.
जब आसुरी वृत्ति का वर्णन करते हैं तो
When Bhagavan will describe the asuri buddhi, the intelligent intellect aimed, which is of demoniac type,
अर्थ का संचय करते हैं
such people
तो भ्रष्टाचार
earn wealth by illegal, unethical means, and then corruption increases in the society. And then we know what is the result. Someday or the other, that person will be caught.
बड़े लोग हैं वो सब जेल में जाके सड़ते हैं
That's why we see all so many big people, people of big positions, they get jailed.
अन्याय ने अर्थ संचयन अन्याय से जो अर्थ का धन
That is
संचय करते हैं
because of earning money by illegal means. And they always have fear within because they may be caught anytime. Because any person who is earning wealth illegally, he will always have fear to get caught by the police. And even if the police of this society does not catch this person, at least Bhagwan's law of karma will never fail. So that person will definitely get punished by the law of karma.
तो
So
इसको
that
आदमी
person
सोचता
cannot
नहीं है जिसके
escape
बारे में भगवान फिर
from the result of the karma.
क्यों आपको
So
ठीक
people do not think about this seriously. That's why later Bhagavan will say that you should perform the proper karma. If you perform improper karma, then you have to suffer here. So why to fall in trouble? So in these two verses, Bhagavan explains the avyavasayitmaka buddhi, buddhi which or intellect which is multi-branched, which is divided,
इसका परिणाम ठीक नहीं होता है इसलिए उनको
and it will not give proper result. That's why it is avipashchit, means it is not that person doesn't have long-term vision.
हिंदी में बोलते हैं आपात रमणीय कि आपको चीज कोई विषलता है कोई क्रीपर है बेल है उसमें बहुत अच्छे फूल लगे हुए
So
हैं
suppose there is a creeper and it has got lot of beautiful flowers,
विषप्रद है
but they are poisonous. If you touch them or if you smell them, then they have poison in them.
आपकी मृत्यु हो जाएगी
So they can cause your death also.
तो इस प्रकार की वाणी जो है वो
So this kind of statements are there in the Vedas also,
सुनने को मिलती है
and nowadays we hear a lot of them.
तो इसलिए
So that is why
भगवान कहते हैं कि
Bhagavan says that
नहीं होना चाहिए
we should not get influenced by this.
उद्देश्य है यहाँ पे और कर्म जो है वो
This is
हमें
his
अंतिम उद्देश्य
purpose,
प्राप्ति के लिए करना चाहिए
and ultimately our ultimate goal should be to attain Bhagavan, and we should perform karma for that only. We should act accordingly so that we can attain Bhagavan. Because if the goal is only sense enjoyment, then animals and birds, they can do it much better than human beings.
वाणी है ज्ञान है
So that means in human form of life,
उद्देश्य से बेहतर
if we have the faculty of speech, etc., then that means our goal, our purpose should be much greater than that of animals and birds.
वो अगले प्रवचन में पढ़ेंगे
So Bhagavan will speak one more verse regarding this. We will take it up in the next class. If you have any question, you can ask now.
धन्यवाद बाबा जी। वैसे तो मैं ये अनुभव करता हूँ कि 5-6 बार जैसे लेक्चर को हो गया उससे अधिक भी सुनने में उत्तर मिल जाता है, लेकिन फिर कोई चीज़ ऐसा
So question, many times I get answers by hearing your lectures themselves, but still I feel that I have some question because I might have missed something or so I want to know.
भगवद गीता में जो पृष्ठ मुख्य पृष्ठ पे जो फोटो देखते हैं भगवान ने
the photo that we see on the cover page,
और लगाम
that Bhagavan is the charioteer
और
and he is
यात्री की तरह
holding the reins of the horses and the Atma is seated as a passenger.
इवन डिवोशन के अंदर भी हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमने ही मन रूपी लगाम पकड़ी हुई है, हम ही बुद्धि को कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं. तो
So it seems as if we are only controlling the mind,
आने में क्या
intelligence. Is there lack of surrender or what?
आप जो कहें ना
अच्छा, हाँ, ठीक
कि
है.
हमने लगाम पकड़ी है, हमसे मतलब क्या है?
एज ए जनरल ये अगर मैं स्वयं को बोलूँ
नहीं क्या है, आप इतना विवेक कर रहे हैं, मन बुद्धि शरीर, तो हम क्या है? आपने तो हमको
अच्छा,
मन
अच्छा,
बुद्धि से
अच्छा.
अलग कर लिया ना, तो क्या क्या है वो?
So what is that we that you are telling, because you distinguished it from mind, intelligence, etc.
मन मेरे द्वारा
तो क्या है वो, उसी को तो मैं पूछ रहा हूँ. उस पर थोड़ा चिंतन करोगे, क्या है, थोड़ा गहराई से सोचिए.
So you should deliberate on who you are. What is this I that you are distinguishing from mind, intelligence, etc.
नवीन जी पूछते हैं कि जब जीवा किसी क्षण पर
So question,
अनुभव करता है कि
once a jiva realizes even momentarily and decides to take bhakti yoga, pure devotional service. However, due to Sri Bhagavan's external energy, the three modes of material nature, it overwhelms the jiva's intelligence and determination. So question, then why doesn't Sri Bhagavan removes the material modes and put the jiva under his internal energy so that the jiva can peacefully execute devotional service without being bothered by modes and the mind
जो तीन गुण
getting
हैं
influenced by
वो
those
वो
modes?
उनके प्रभाव में ना आ सके?
तो भगवान तो तैयार हैं, लेकिन आप छोड़ोगे तभी तो ना.
So answer, Bhagavan is ready to remove the influence of the modes, but you have to leave them.
तो हम पकड़े हुए हैं तीन गुणों को.
You are holding on tightly to the three.
भगवान कहते हैं पहले इसको छोड़ो, तब मैं आपको दूं. आपके
So
पास
Bhagavan says that you give them up,
देना चाहते हैं,
then I will free you.
लेकिन आप
You decide to leave them up, leave them. Your glass is full of poison. First you throw away that poison, then I will fill the nectar.
फेंकना तो आपको पड़ेगा.
But so you have to throw that poison away.
कैसे देंगे? वो तो समझा रहे हैं आपको.
Bhagavan is ready to give the nectar,
लेना,
but you have to take the decision.
कि व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि होनी चाहिए, वो तो कह रहे हैं.
And for that, your intelligence should be one pointed. It should be one only.
मतलब अभी हुई नहीं है.
So
अगर एक बुद्धि
so what you are saying, it means that your intelligence is still not one pointed.
उसको एक
Otherwise, you will move towards that direction only.
प्रश्न है, महाराज मैं एक छात्र हूँ और बाहर कॉलेज में अपनी पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ. भगवान की
So
कृपा से
question, I am a student and I study in a college. By Bhagavan's kripa, I do Nam Jap, I have Kanti also. So but now because I stay outside, that even I don't want, but still I end up consuming onion, garlic. So what should I do? So answer, on what condition situation you are getting influenced or doing like this, I don't know. So wherever you have facility to have food without this, then do that.
लीजिए, लेकिन उसमें गिल्टी होने की आवश्यकता नहीं
But
है.
but if you don't have any option, then you take it, but there is no reason to be guilty. Guilt should be there when you have facility of not consuming onion, garlic, and still you are consuming. That is wrong. But if you do not have any other option only, if you do not have the freedom to eat without onion, garlic, you have gone to some relative's house and they have cooked food with onion, garlic, and you do not have any freedom to not eat that, then what can be done? If you can tell them and you can make some other option, then okay. But if you cannot tell and there is no other option, then what to be done? As far as possible, try to stay away. But if there is no other option, then don't be under guilt.
प्रश्न है, क्या वेदों में मूर्ति पूजा का वर्णन है?
Question, is there a description of Murti Puja in Vedas? Answer: directly the Murti Puja description is not there in the Vedas. It is, you will get in the Puranas, etc.
ज्यादातर यज्ञ का है,
Vedas talk mostly of yajnas.
वर्णन नहीं है वैसा, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं
There
है
is
कि
no
भगवान
direct
का वहाँ
description
वर्णन नहीं
of
है।
puja, but it is also not that Bhagwan's form is not explained.
सहस्र शीर्षा
In
तक
Purusha Sukta itself, this is
यज्ञ
described.
का मतलब होता है पूजा,
And yajna also means
शब्द जो है
puja.
वो यज धातु से बना है।
Yajna shabda is made from yaj
का
dhatu,
मतलब होता है देव
and
पूजा संगति का,
yaj means dev puja, sangati karan, dan.
तो पूजा शब्द तो उसी में ही आता है,
So puja,
लेकिन
the word is
पहले
also from there only.
पूजा का इतना प्रचलन नहीं था।
Earlier, the Murti Puja was not worshipping Bhagwan's form. That was not so widespread. This description is in Srimad Bhagavatam.
प्राय त्रेता युग में
Worshipping Bhagwan's form mostly
उसका कारण कि
started in the
लोग
Treta Yuga, and the reason was that people started becoming envious of each other. That's why Bhagwan gave the Murti, and the Murti Puja system started. Before that, people were not envious. They lived peacefully in a friendly way.
आप ये समझिए कि जितने भी विधि हैं, चाहे वो भक्ति
Such we should also understand that whether
ये हमेशा ही रही हैं,
it is of bhakti, Murti Puja, or anything, everything is, all of this is eternal.
प्रसिद्ध हो जाता
The
है।
only difference is that
दूसरा मार्ग
in different times and circumstances, one process becomes more prominent. So it is not that Murti Puja is not there in the Vedas. That description is also there.
तथा गुरु, ये तो उपनिषद में ही आया। उपनिषद
Upanishad says, Yasya Deve Para Bhakti. So Upanishad is also part of Veda.
कोई यज्ञ करने
Yes. So bhakti means what? Bhakti means doing puja.
नहीं है कि बिल्कुल वर्णन नहीं है, लेकिन
So it is not that the description is not that, but the Murti Puja Vidhi, the system, the rules that you understand of doing Aarti, etc., that is not so explicitly given in the Vedas.
प्रणाम बाबाजी महाराज। तो मेरा प्रश्न है कि आजकल प्राय जितने भी लोगों से हम मिलते हैं,
So question,
चारवाक फिलॉसफी में ही बिलीव करते हैं।
mostly people whom we meet today, they mostly believe in the philosophy of Charvaka. So if I discuss with them, I just say that my Shraddha is in Shastra, your Shraddha is in something else. So my question is that discussing with them, can we conclusively prove that if somebody has Shraddha in Charvaka, can it be proven to him that there is karma siddhanta in this world, there is something called afterlife?
या उनको जस्ट छोड़ दिया जाए कि आपकी श्रद्धा जिसमें आप वो फॉलो करिए?
ये तो आपके ऊपर है, आप छोड़ें ना छोड़ें, जो आपका प्रश्न है कि
So whether you argue with them or not, that is up to you. But the question whether it can be proven or not, you will get lot of shastras on Shad Darshanas are teaching this only. All the 6 darshanas have refuted Charvak.
सब खंडन करते हैं।
Whether you go to Yoga, Nyaya, etc., then you have to study those shastras.
अब आप तर्क
And
चारवाक दर्शन वाले केवल प्रत्यक्ष को मानते हैं।
Charvak, those who believe in Charvak, they just accept Pratyaksha.
जो कह रहे हैं चारवाक चारवाक चारवाक,
What you are talking about Charvak, these are not Charvakvadis. They studied any book of Charvak?
दिखा दो मेरे को जो कहे कि मैंने
Show me one person who says that I have studied the philosophy of Charvak.
प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण को मानता है।
Charvak accepts only the Pratyaksha Praman. Do these people, they lead their life only on the basis of Pratyaksha? Nobody's life can continue only on the basis of Pratyaksha. When you go for taking an employment, how can you be sure that you will get your salary at the end of the month? It is only by Shabda Praman. How can you have Pratyaksha of that?
लेकिन ना आपने चारवाक पढ़ा है ना उन्होंने चारवाक।
You have also not studied Charvak. That other person has also not studied Charvak. But you are talking that you are follower of Charvak. Neither you know Charvak nor that other person knows Charvak.
परंतु उनका तथ्य आमतौर पे ये होता है कि मृत्यु के बाद किसने क्या देखा है।
अरे तो ऐसे ही बोल रहा हूँ ना मैं, केवल एक शब्द कहने से कुछ नहीं होता है ना।
So they simply make some statement that after death, who has seen what happens? They simply speak like that. They don't have knowledge. first you should define mrityu, death. You should ask them, you are talking of you are saying that there is nothing after death. What do you mean by death? Who is dying? Explain to me.
वो तो हमने पहले श्लोकों में पढ़ लिया कि ना तो भौतिक स्तर पे भी सब उसमें मिल रहा है पंच तत्व में, और आत्मा तो कभी मरती नहीं।
नहीं, ये तो आप पुस्तक की बात कर रहे हैं, मैं पुस्तक की बात नहीं कर रहा, मैं केवल
I am not talking about book. I am simply talking of logic, because they may say that I don't accept Gita. I am saying that I don't talk of Gita.
मृत्यु के बाद कुछ नहीं होता, मैं पूछता हूँ मृत्यु किसकी होती है?
So I am simply asking in a logical way, who dies? I am not bringing Gita here.
मृत्यु कह रहे हैं आप?
I am simply asking, whose death are you talking of?
आपकी प्रेजेंट आइडेंटिटी की।
ये तो आप केवल दूसरा शब्द प्रयोग कर रहे हैं, क्या है वो आइडेंटिटी?
So if you say your present identity is going to die, then what is that identity?
आइडेंटिटी की मृत्यु तो यही होती रहती है। जब आप बच्चे थे, उसके बाद में युवक हो गए, तब
So your present identity dies in this life itself,
इसलिए तो आप अभी भी जीवित हैं।
because when you were a child and then you grew into a teenager, you don't say that now that I am a child, so that identity has gone, but you are still living.
आइडेंटिटी आ गई। तो ऐसा नहीं है, वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना कि ना तो आपने चारवाक पढ़ा है, ना उन्होंने चारवाक पढ़ा
So
है।
that's why I'm saying that you have not studied Charvak, that person has not studied Charvak. You simply make some statements.
ठीक है, और अगर
प्रशांत जी पूछते हैं, प्रणाम बाबा जी, जब मेरे
Next question, when my relatives eat meat and even after lot of efforts from my side, they do not agree to become vegetarian, so should I stop convincing them to become pure vegetarian, because I also lose
जब आपकी बात नहीं
my energy, my enthusiasm?
छोड़ी और
So you yourself are answering. If they are not listening to you, then what can be done? Ultimately, they have to face the results of their karma. You will incur result of your karma.
फिर कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं हो पाती है।
Next question, I work for 4 to 5 days, then I lose the consistency. For a lot of time, I lose the enthusiasm of that work. So can you suggest any solution through Vedic psychology? So answer, Vedic psychology treatment is quite lengthy, because in Vedic psychology, we try to find out the cause behind everything.
ऐसा जो आप कर रहे हैं, तो उसके पीछे कोई कारण है।
So why you are behaving like this? It has some reason behind this. It is just not just happening accidentally. If it would have just happened like that, then everybody would be behaving like that. Because why are you behaving like this, not somebody else? That means there is some cause behind that, and that cause is lying in you, but not in the other person.
ऐसा नहीं होता है,
That's why you behave like this, but the other person does not behave like this. So that cause has to be investigated.
उसकी प्रक्रिया तो लंबी है,
So that
वो इतनी आसान नहीं
so it's a long
कारण ये
process.
है, प्रक्रिया लंबी होने का कि ये कोई
And why the process is long?
दृष्टि
Because it's not drishta, it just cannot be seen.
तो मैं देख के बता,
It's not like there is some boil on your hand and I just see and understand.
ये मानसिक स्तर पर है समस्या, तो उसके मन का विश्लेषण करना पड़ता है।
So it's a mental problem, and that has to be analyzed deeply, and because it cannot be seen,
करके आपके जीवन के
so it's simply by continuously talking with you, discussing about your life history.
लगाता कि इसके पीछे
This is how a therapist investigates and goes to the root cause of the problem.
निवारण करना पड़ेगा।
So that cause has, that root cause reason has to be eradicated.
पहला प्रश्न है, महाराज जी, रत्नाकर और अंगुलीमाल का तुरंत परिवर्तन कैसे हुआ? क्या उनकी पुरानी वासनाओं का असर उन पर आगे नहीं हुआ होगा?
So question about Ratnakar and Angulimal, how did they get reformed immediately? Did they not get influenced by their samskaras again? So answer, this type of transformation that happens in life, it has two reasons.
ऐसा कर्म था,
One is that that person was acting like that because of some karma of some previous life. That person had taken on the spiritual path in the previous life, but he got deviated due to some reason.
नाशो अस्ति प्रत्यवायेन विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्। तो उन्होंने कुछ साधना की थी अपने जीवन में,
Like Bhagavan said earlier.
किसी कारणवश वो
So
साधना
these people, they had done some sadhana in the previous life and they could not perfect that. They got deviated and they had to take another life, another birth. and the effect of the wrong karma that was done in the previous life that got eradicated. So now the moment they get any stimulus for again going on the spiritual path, immediately they will take it up seriously. That is one reason. And the other reason can be by the kripa, by the mercy of some Mahabhagavat, like Lord Buddha or Narad Rishi. So they have such power that by their causeless mercy, they can change the samskaras in the chitta of that person, and by their mercy, they infuse the spirituality in their heart. So both reasons are possible, or only one is possible. Like regarding Tulsidas, it is said, I don't remember exactly her wife's name. So he was very much attached to his wife, and he goes to her house, and then she says that the how much attachment you have for me, if you would have little bit for Bhagavan Ram, then your life would become successful. Then he left and he went and he became such a great devotee of Lord Ram, and he gave this such a unique shastra called Ramcharit Manas, which is benefiting so many people in the society. So many people have such experiences, but why only Tulsidas reacted like this? So it proves that Tulsidas must have been a devotee of Bhagavan Ram in the previous life, but due to some reason, he had to suffer that much amount of karma, and he took another birth. And when his wife spoke those statements, that effect of that karma got deleted. So it is like, suppose you have lot of grass, but it is wet. But when it will become dried under sun, just by a small spark of fire, the entire thing can get burned. Before that, no matter how much you try to burn it, it won't burn. So like this, there are many kathas. In Vrindavan, there is a temple, Tedekamba temple. There was a rich person from Lucknow. So regarding him also, there is such a katha that he was sitting, and the lady who was sweeping, she said that it is evening time. Please, uh, little sit aside. Don't sit here because I have to sweep here. So then he took it in a serious way. Oh, it is the time for sunset in my life. So now I should leave everything and go away. So he came to Vrindavan.
वो उस मेहतरानी का शब्द उसके ऊपर ऐसा चोट क्यों कर गया? क्योंकि पूर्व जन्म के संस्कार.
So now why that lady's words influenced this person in such a way? Because of the samskaras of previous life. So if a person gets influenced by such thoughts, materialistic thoughts, does that mean his intelligence is polluted? So answer, what else can it be? If the intelligence is pure, why will it get influenced by such thoughts? So it is not just polluted, it is too much polluted. Next question, how can I really change bhog buddhi to tyag buddhi? The buddhi of sense enjoyment to the buddhi of renunciation. So that is what Bhagavan is teaching here, to make it disciplined, regulated, to do the bhoga in a regulated way, not in unregulated way. And first of all, having the right decision, right determination. First of all, you should have the proper decision that I want to give this up and I want to go on the spiritual path. So then slowly you have to regulate yourselves. This is what Bhagavan.
Okay, we'll stop. Recite the प्रार्थना. सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनंदनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्. एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतं एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः यच्छ्रेयः स्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं साधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रये भवे भवे यथा भक्ति पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपाप प्रणाशनम् प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परम् हरि ओम तत्सत्।